What's going on, YouTube? We are here back for the Week 3 XFL season previews. I'm back in the studio. Feels good to be back on the saddle. Before we get started, be sure to always like and subscribe so you can get all my videos. Comment down below what you think about my predictions for this week or any other topics you want me to cover in videos. If you want to sponsor me, my business email is tommyxflusfl@gmail.com. That's also in the description. If you want to reference my picks that I'll be showing, also all in the description for this video. So without further ado, let's get into the video. We got week 3 schedule coming up. Wrong tab. So we got Seattle at Vegas on Saturday night at 7, St. Louis at DC, probably the biggest game of the week. Battle for that North Division at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Orlando at Arlington, Sunday at 4, and then San Antonio at Houston. So 3 pretty solid games, I think. We'll get into that here. I'll go through the first. We're just going to go game by game, and then I'll go through the lines and show what I think. So we got Seattle coming off the close last-second field goal loss at home to the St. Louis Battlehawks. Vegas coming off that 18-6 loss on that really bad field conditions, bad weather game to the DC Defenders. So both these teams, I think, are underachieving from where they expected to be. In both those teams' defense, I think they've both played a pretty decent schedule. Vegas a little bit less so, but Seattle's played two of the top 3 teams in the league. Two of the best teams in the division for sure. And they've both been 1-score games. Vegas, Huntley came in a little bit for Perez. I'm not sure who's going to get most of the reps this week. I think this game is pretty clearly a game that Seattle, it's a must-win for both teams to have a chance to stay alive in the playoff race. I think it's even bigger for Seattle given that there's 2 undefeated teams, so I think it's a must-win. I think they've underperformed to their talent in a couple of close losses. I don't think the same is true for Vegas. I think Vegas got in a pretty good half for Perez and couldn't pull it together. So I think my prediction on the winner, I'm picking Seattle to win. I feel pretty good about that. I'm always going to ride or die with my team. So I'm a little biased, but I do think they'll win this one. Even though it's on the road, I still think I have to pick them. Not pretty confident, I would say, in that one. The main event of the weekend. So if you're going to watch one XFL game this weekend, I'd watch this one just as a fan. St. Louis at DC. So both these teams are undefeated. Both these teams have some name recognition. The DC Defenders with the Eric King of Houston and Miami. Jordan Talmadge, spring quarterback legend. St. Louis Battlehawks have AJ McCarron. Forget his first name. Tight end Butler. Marcel Aitman. Austin Prohl. Dynamic players, both sides of the football for these teams. Both these teams have won games tough, which is good. I think both these teams have strong quarterback play. I'd give the edge to St. Louis, but I think DC has a lot more packages with the Derek King. I think that's tough to prepare for in town with 2 pretty mobile, one very mobile quarterback and one pretty mobile quarterback who has struggled more than they'd like to see throwing the ball, but I think he's due for a bounce back game. The line of this game, I think it's -2.5 for DC. I think it's kind of basically a pick 'em to me, and if it's a pick 'em at home, I'm always going to pick the home team, just because I can get a slight advantage. Now, I know the stadiums aren't as crowded, but I think just with travel and stuff, I think give the edge to the team that's at home. I think that's why they're getting that bump. I think DC is going to win. I think it's going to be ugly. I think St. Louis has played extremely well. They've had extremely clutch play. I think this is the best team they've played so far, pretty clearly. And I think they're doing it on the road, and they've been on the road all season, to be fair, actually, as I think about it. But I still think I'd still pick DC. I think DC has a lot more different ways they can beat you. St. Louis will grind you. I think it's gonna be a great game. I wouldn't be shocked if either team wins. A lot of fun to watch. So picking DC in this one. I almost don't need to talk about this game. Arlington at Orlando. I don't care if Drew Plitt's starting, Kyle Sloter. I know we got some reps last week. I'm picking Arlington. I don't have to think about it. Orlando is struggling. I saw a report. Haven't heard it's confirmed about Quentin Dormady leaking plays to their teams. There was all the stuff we saw in the game last weekend where the Guardians players and coaches were fighting, the quarterback's yelling at the players in the huddle, linemen are trying to call plays. Just doesn't seem like a great vibe right now. And hopefully they get back on track and those guys get a chance to maybe not win many games, but at least show their stuff, get some good film on tape, and start competing a little better than they have because they haven't really competed at all, quite frankly. I think in Arlington too. I think Arlington's shown that they have a crazy good defense. Pretty solid offensive play, run the ball okay. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. And the last game of the night, Houston hosting San Antonio. San Antonio is 1-1. Lost that nail biter. They blew that lead to the St. Louis Battlehawks. Houston's been rolling. Won by 9 against Arlington, won by 20. I think this is I think Houston will win pretty comfortably in this one. Personally, I think Brent Silvers has shown enough. Cole McDonald's a nice little option if the things go south. I think their defense has been insane all year. I think San Antonio is a good team. I think they're trending upward. And I think them and Arlington will battle for that 2 seed. I think that's going to be a really close neck and neck fight. I think Houston's just a better team. Again, at home, I'm going to pick the home team. That game was on ESPN, which will actually be fun too. So yeah, I think I picked 4 4 home teams. I think that's just kind of coincidence, or 3 for 4. Excuse me. I picked Seattle. I think home field advantage matters some in these leagues. With just accommodations might not be like NFL. I think it just matters. I don't know how much. I think in a pick 'em, I'm going to pick the home team, and the other games, I think the other home teams are just favored. So these are the DraftKings odds from about 2:00. So they're picking Seattle at the -3.5, over under of 38. I don't love the over unders. I get why people play them, but I'd probably take the over. I think Seattle's due to score some more points. I think their defense isn't that good. St. Louis, DC, DC -2.5, like I mentioned. That's a pretty good line. I think it's even a little closer than that. I don't think DC showed me that much. It's basically, I would put it more like 2 or 1.5. So I wouldn't bet this over 3. To be if you get the line at -3, my line's sometimes different from ESPN's. Seattle's even a tough bet at -3.5. I'm feeling good about that, but that's a tough one. I would bet this. Anything 3 and up, I wouldn't bet DC. I think over 3. If the line gets to over -3, and if line gets to -3.5, I would not bet DC. I think it's gonna be too close for that, probably. Arlington and Orlando is an interesting bet because I think a lot of people want to pile on the Guardians, and I think that's a fine choice. 8.5 points is just a lot of points. I know they've been awful, so maybe it's just that simple and I'm overthinking it. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think Arlington's offense is that great. Maybe they'll look great this week though. So it's just a big spread. I have a tough time betting on a team to win by over 9 points myself. I don't think they'll touch the over under of 38. St. Louis, DC, I think is also going to go the under, but that could touch it. In Houston, San Antonio, -3.5. That's a pretty good line, I think. Again, probably about 3-point game, given the home field advantage. Half point probably makes sense to me. And with the way that San Antonio hasn't really proven themselves quite yet, and Houston has. So these are my predictions. So I got Seattle, the game winners. I got Seattle, I got DC winning, I got Arlington, and I got Houston. My bets for the week, Seattle to cover that, DC to cover, Arlington to cover, and Houston to cover. And Houston to cover is my best bet. I know a lot of people are going to say I should have Arlington covering because it's so obvious. I just think 8.5 points, again, is a lot of points. Arlington's offense has not super impressed me yet. What did they win their last game by? Why am I blanking on this? I feel like they just never. They scored 14 points. Granted, that was their best. That was against the best team. And then week 1, they scored 22. So not an awful offense, but I don't know. I mean, if they scored 25, it could happen. It definitely could happen. I like to make my best bet a little bit fun sometimes. That's my second choice though. So either one of those two. I think Houston's way better than San Antonio. I know San Antonio plays gutsy and I actually like a lot of what they're doing, but that's my best bet for the week. And you can see I'm still at 5-3. Both my best bets have hit in the past 2 weeks. And my game winners, I'm 7-1. Seattle's my only loss, and it took a last second field goal to do that. So thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe again. Let me know what you think of my predictions, and thanks for watching.